I'm FanFiction famous, bitch. Welcome to Anime Chill 3. Hey everyone, it's the right arm, and this Anime Chill's topic is fanfiction. Now let's be honest. How many of you actually read fanfiction? How many of you actually write fanfiction? Don't lie to me. If you don't know what fanfiction is, get out. Get out. Get out of this video. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. Just kidding. Fanfiction it's actually this site called fanfiction.net. If you don't know what it is. But also in itself, fanfiction is basically stories made by fans about anything you can possibly imagine. Whether it be movies, anime, manga, your favorite video game, your favorite cartoon show. Fanfiction is like, for example, say a fan writes a story about, give me a video game, Pokemon. There you go. There's a lot of like Harry Potter fanfiction, like Harry Potter fans, you know, writing their little Ron and Hermione stories or whatever, you know, Harry Potter. I thought it'd be an interesting topic to cover on Anime Chill. What I think about fanfiction, I love the creative aspect of it and what it does for people creatively. But I'll get to that later. How I stumbled upon fanfiction was when I was younger. I used to like really love DBZ, and like that would be like all I would research would be DBZ. I used to be obsessed with like finding pictures, Dragon Ball Z pictures, and printing them out and putting them in a little binder. I still have that binder with like tons of Dragon Ball Z collages and stuff. And so I would search Dragon Ball Z a lot on the internet, and one time I stumbled on a fanfiction story, and I remember this story was so well written, you know, as far as I knew. I was young, but it was a really good story. And it was like all the Z warriors and them going off on all these adventures, fighting all these different villains, and it was just so good. I can't remember for the life of me the title of it, but it was like over 30 chapters. It was like super long, but it was like amazing. And that's how I got into fanfiction. I must have been like 12, 13, you know, maybe 11. But I don't know. After that I started reading a little more fanfiction, and I've read some great ones. And fanfiction is pretty popular in anime and manga. I mean, anime and manga has like a pretty wide fan base for fanfiction. You can find fanfiction on like anything, any of your series, practically. I remember one time when I was younger, my friend came over and he saw me on the fanfiction site, and he was like, "Oh my god, right arm, 8 syllables. You read fanfiction? That site is for losers." When I think about it now, it's just funny when I think about it. He thought it was for losers. I don't know why. I remember sitting at my computer looking at him like, "Oh my god, I am so embarrassed right now." No, this isn't fanfiction. No, I just thought that was funny to mention there. Fanfiction, it ranges, in content. For example, not all fanfiction stories are, let's say, PG. If you know what I mean. There's actually fanfiction that's like really like R-rated and very explicit, like erotica. Like people actually write like erotica fanfiction, which for the life of me, I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I don't read erotica. I'm trying to see the art in it. I'm trying to see the art in writing erotica. No, it's like writing porn, right? I remember one time I stumbled onto this fanfiction story that was not, you know, PG-13, you know, and I started reading it, and it was about Bulma and Vegeta, and you know, as I was reading it, I was like, all right, whatever, they're setting up the story, and then as I kept reading it, I was like, oh, wait a second. I got to a part, I was like, wait a second. Where's the action? Where's the villain? Why are they in bed? And I kept reading, and I was like, this is not action. This is not Dragon Ball Z. Where's Goku? Where's Krillin? Where's Cell, motherfucker? Okay, I'm feeling weird inside. Let me just exit out. Click. Yeah, so for you guys who like want to get into fanfiction, steer away from the, you know, the erotic stuff if you are not of age. Please, it will scar you for life. So yeah, that's when I found about the erotica stuff. I kind of toned down on the fanfiction. So though I might think that's the downside of fanfiction, it's not. It's, you know, that's just strictly my opinion, what I think. I mean, you know, No 12-year-old should be stumbling upon that shit. I started reading it less and less. I mean, I just got too busy and stuff. I don't read it anymore. I have no time whatsoever to read it, but I know there are like some great fanfiction stories out there, like legit ones, but I just have no time to read it. Like, I'm too busy like reading, like actually reading real books and stuff. But the great part of fanfiction, I think, is just whether you're reading fanfiction or writing fanfiction, it gives you a really good chance to be creative, especially if you're writing it. If I think the people of all ages write fanfiction, and I think it's a great way to get better at writing and to be more creative and use your imagination. I mean, because when you're writing or reading, you're using your creative juices. And I think that's just great in general, to be more literary. You know, whatever intellectually stimulates your brain, reading, writing especially. Great tool for being creative, getting better at reading and writing, you know. And I just think that's like the most wonderful part of fanfiction. I endorse that completely, writing, reading fanfiction. And if most of you guys know, I'm a writer. I love to write. I want to be a novelist. You're probably thinking, 8 syllables, do you write fanfiction? The answer is no, I don't. I've actually considered it back when I used to read fanfiction, but the problem I have with me writing fanfiction is I just can't seem to use characters that are not of my own creation, you know? Like, I could probably make my own stories, use, you know, the Dragon Ball Z universe, you know, Fullmetal Alchemist universe, you know, use like characters like Ed and Al, and use Vegeta or Goku and stuff, and write my own stories. But I would feel weird using characters that I didn't create, because I'm afraid like I wouldn't get them down right. You know, it's just a writer thing. I'm afraid I wouldn't do them justice. I wouldn't represent them well, even though I do think I know the characters just from like watching the shows and stuff. They're not my creation, so like I don't think I would completely, fully understand how to write them. I think I would do a pretty good, believable job, but I just feel weird, you know, using characters that aren't my own as a writer, you know. But actually, there have been fanfiction writers who have turned into published authors because they've written like a really great, amazing fanfiction story that got really popular, and like say the writer developed like a huge following from that story, that he or she actually went on to publish their own work and actually become an author because of the following they had on fanfiction, which I think is fantastic. That's a great opportunity to start your writing career. Though I don't recommend anyone to do that, because that's very rare and unlikely it'll happen. But you can still write fanfiction, no problem. So yeah, all in all, I think fanfiction is pretty cool. Tell me what you guys think of fanfiction. Do you read fanfiction? Do you write fanfiction? A lot of props to you if you write fanfiction. The only thing I say, you know, steer away of the erotica if you are not of age, and if you read erotica, hey, that's cool. That's cool. And if you write erotica, that's even cooler. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching Anime Chill, where I just talk about anything anime and manga related and chill, relaxed video, me just chilling, talking, saying a bunch of bullshit. Hope you guys enjoyed, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Anime Chill, Anime Chill. You know, now that I think about it, anime has exposed me to a lot of inappropriate things at a really young age. Damn, internet. You're supposed to be my friend.